Hey everybody, hope my audio volume isn't too loud. As always, let me know if the volume needs to be adjusted. Um, so today's stream is something a little different. Last week I did a stream on the basic setup and implementation of adverse status effects on our character classes, and this week I'm planning to go through with you the setup of Vance's technique shuffle abilities. Let me switch my input here. Okay, so if we just jump into the game real quick, you can see
You ready, Maya?
we entered battle, and the way Vance works is um, so that's a technique shuffle skill of Vance's, right? He does his basic attack, and then uh, basically a technique he has unlocked shuffles in. So there's just one setup at the moment. And I wanted to go through the setup of the second one. Audio volume for me is a little loud. I wonder if I can lower this on my end. Let me pop out these message log to my other monitor here. Whoops. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. Let's open up my stream health. Okay. So, to start with, we have our new attack animation. Basically, this is the one you just saw. The new attack animation is, I just called it Chin Breaker for now, just like a little description. Basically, it's a crouching two-hit strike, similar to like other fighting games like Street Fighter comes to mind. So the first thing we're going to do is find this in the content browser, and we are going to create a animation montage from it. And I'll just move this to my folder, the animation montage folder. Wait for the source control to do its thing, and in the meantime, I'll review my notes. So the next thing we're going to do is set up the animation notifies on our new montage. And I'll actually grab the previous technique shuffle and open that to a new window, just as a reference to see what montages are required. Okay. So many tabs. Okay, I don't need most of them, to be honest. I will delete them as they are not. I don't need the pause menu. I don't need this. Okay, so yep, we have our basic attack. We need a audio sample. I'll grab this one. These are just.
Here I come.
Yeah, we'll use this one for now. These can always be changed. Just want to set up the initial. The initial sound effects, right? And I'll add another animation montage track. Probably. Let's grab a whoosh. And play sound. Okay. So I want the whoosh to begin basically when he starts to swing. Yeah, animation's all right. It's adequate, for the effects. Probably have to go and clean it up post-stream at some point, maybe before this month's build is published, but for the purpose of showing the tech shuffle setups in this stream, it should be fine. All right. Um, so let's make a new notify. I see. Okay, so I just have to refresh my memory on how I coded the original tech shuffle. We're gonna have to create a new notify, and we're gonna call it tech shuffle on underscore. Gotcha. Whoops, not gotcha. That was a mistake. Have to manage notifies. Yeah, we don't want that. We want to delete and add a notify for tech shuffle underscore chin breaker. Not that Ragnars usually have chins, but okay, so there's a point in the animation where we have a hold. That's where one of the hits are. So yeah, it's right around the 20th frame. We're going to put one here. And then again, we have another hit that is going to strike, I think on the 25th. So just about here. I'm going to apply the same notify again. Actually, I think we can copy and paste. Yep, and stagger it like that. It should be fine. And then at the end, we're going to call our notify for text shuffle complete. You're gonna shove that right at the end there. So that should be all the notifies we need. We can set our default slot to Vance, so the animation blueprint will process this montage. Okay, check through my notes. Okay, this actually should be adequate. I can delete this, or close it. Definitely not delete it. We're gonna then go to Vance's animation, not animation, his fighting, his combat mode, his battle mode blueprint. And we're gonna go to here. Basically, we have when the shuffle event is called, based on how the player does their basic attack in battle, we call a technique shuffle execute, and then based on the technique shuffle that has been called, we execute the desired function. And that starts, we're going to make a new one here based on this switch. So we have gotcha and we have chin breaker. Chin breaker. I'm pretty sure that's what the skill is called at level 2, which is what we're coding. I can jump into this function here just to double check if tech cache level 1 is at level 2. We have chin breaker, and that is the exact same name I'm putting in, so this will work. Okay, back down to here. I'm gonna code this up kind of quick and dirty. You guys can see the mechanical flow of it. It may not be perfect and beautiful, but that's what working off stream is for. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, well, similar to the previous function, we're going to call our action display. And we're going to call, and we're going to display, well, basically, chin breaker. And we're going to display it for, 1.3 seconds. Pause text shuffle. This is probably going to be the same. We want to switch to skill stance for that cinematic effect and play our particle effects. This probably could be resolved to a macro. For the time being, I'm just going to duplicate it. Probably duplicate all of it. Because it's literally the charging up and posing. Pause, text shuffle, and pose. Actually, I'm okay with it being a macro. So let's highlight it. Let's highlight it all. The delay will stay outside the macro. And it'll collapse to a macro. I'm just going to call this technique shuffle. Oh my god, if I could only type properly. FX. And we can probably just copy this over. Yeah, I guess that, you know what, I like it. I like it more. I'm happy with that choice. Yeah, so this pose doesn't require any fancy sliding. So I don't think we need any of these. Next up, we have the actual animation to play, because this is all, you know, interpreting to the location of the, uh, for the gotcha skill. Whoops. So we can get into this right away. Right, so we play the montage we just created. So we're going to call this Chin Breaker Montage. Perfect. We're going to play that. Let's just rename this so our blueprint makes sense. And after that, basically this is going to, well, this is as far as we go, basically, for what we've coded so far, right? We play that cool animation montage, and all the notifies based on that montage get called, which means we need to go to the animation blueprint. So I'm just going to save, well, compile, save and then compile first. And we jump over to the animation blueprint. So here we have, oh, this is not the battle mode animation blueprint. We want this guy over here. So if we jump to the event graph, we have all these notifies. Among them, yes, we have our technique shuffles. Let's name that, or let's put a comment on those so I can identify them easier. Basically, we have a new notify, and that notify is tech shuffle chin breaker, and we're going to call an event based on our battle mode blueprint, which is over here, all the way over here. Can probably close what we don't need. I'll keep, no, I don't think we need the good particle status open. Okay, so here, event end tech shuffle, and we have strike gotcha called from animation blueprint. This is essentially what we're going to build as well. Essentially, these are our strikes. So based on where the animation, based on the point of where the animation impacts, we call the effects for sound effects, visual effects, you know, and then we send the damage through, like the attack properties of the skill. Oh, actually, this really shouldn't have a cost. Well, I mean, it's 0, so I guess it's okay. Anyways, so we're going to call strike for chin breaker, and we're going to make a new event called Vance chin breaker. Strike. Whoops. Not what we want to do. We just want to create a new custom event. Vance chin breaker strike. Okay. Sound effects for hits, VFX. Now, while these effects and sound effects can change, we're still going to call them in the same manner, so I'm just going to copy and paste the code. and send data. Yeah, this is actually all the same. Okay. Um, it's very standard. I mean, I've R&D'd it once. Most technique shuffles will operate in the same way. So we know this gets called twice, which is fine. This is that works with the design that I've set up here for or damage transferring. Combo finish. Yeah, we'll leave the VFX the same. I don't love the. Yeah, sure. It's a very generic sound effect, but we'll use it for now. Um, okay. And visual effects, I'll probably leave those default. So these both get called, and then at the end, technique shuffle should get called. Um, let's just see here. Okay, so yeah, actually this should work, because at the end of our animation montage, we call a notify to end the shuffle technique, which calls, well, we called this notify at the end of our montage, which calls this again. So it's all interconnected, and it works quite well. But while we're here, we should call our new event. Yeah, Vance Chinbreaker Strike. Perfect. Compile and save. Oh, we got a warning. I know why. I know why. It's because we didn't compile here first. So we're all good here. We come back over here. If we recompile, we should be fine. Good to go. Perfect. The last thing we have to do, I believe, is we don't need to work in there. We have to go to the game instance and adjust Vance's skill to level 2, because as I showed earlier, for the function that populates our skill, our valid technique shuffle skills, where was it? Populate. Yeah, you need to be level 2, right? So we change our game instance variable to level 2, and we're good to go, I think. So, I mean, the way it's drawn, it'll be a basically 50% chance, but I think we should be good to go to try this out. Oh, whoops. Before we go through with it, we actually need to, well, one crucial element. Right now we're using the shuffle skill gotcha and passing it through, right? On our chin breaker, because we copied and pasted it. So what we actually want to do is make a new skill for this. So do we have attacks or skills? If I search for tech shuffle, yeah, let's just duplicate this. And I'm going to call this Chin Breaker. And inside of the struct, well, I'll compile it, then you can see that inside of that struct we have a whole bunch of variables which are used for the purposes of defining the skill's attributes. Man, it's like so hard to talk and work at the same time. So hopefully it's not. Hopefully this stream is not a giant mess that makes no sense. I'm just checking my data sheet here on the attributes for the skill. Basically, we need to have this at a power level of 15. Actually, I misread that. It should be 12. Damage, raw, cost, single target. This is fine. We actually do not want any attributes for abilities such as confusion. And actually, even tech shuffle gotcha isn't supposed to be 100%. That was there because I was testing it, testing the confusion system. I'll put this back down to 15% based off of my handy spreadsheet, which is off screen. Okay, so Let's save this, and let's try it out. Let's try it out.
Wait, should I have stretched first?
And whoops. It's that feeling when you screw up the input on your own game. Actually, the basic attack isn't supposed to be able to do confusion either, so I'm just going to remove that. I hope the sound effects aren't terribly loud, because for me it's almost unbearable. Okay. Actually, he's not supposed to do confusion either.
This should be a good warm-up.
I should probably fix that before I forget. Yeah, I basically gave everyone a confusion attribute to their basic attacks because I was testing with regards to the confusion affecting players versus enemies and how it works when it's all integrated.
Wait, should I have stretched first?
Okay, that's working pretty much as expected. Now if I can just do this input on stream, I'm going to write it off as nerves. Okay. Yeah, so that doesn't really help me. Actually, yeah, that's why it won't work. Those are very different skills that are affecting how combat is working. But that should...
You ready, Maya?
That should resolve the issue. Okay. We got gotcha. 15% chance of confusion. That time it didn't work, which is fine. Oh, it kind of works. Battle end isn't really called, but that may be a different issue for me to solve off screen. Let's try it one more time.
Stretch first.
Just to verify that the turn end is occurring correctly. Or
wait, should I have stretched first?
That the notify is working to end the player's turn.
You ready, Maya?
Oh, embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, seems to work fine. Cool. Cool. Yeah. So, what will I be doing from here? Basically, we're going to add in some custom sound effects and visual effects to these calls here, and probably, like, this is very simple, but most likely I'll set up a little bit of a custom, probably one custom event that gets called from this point, maybe based on a do once or a gate, and it'll do something a bit more dynamic with the camera. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me put up my end screen. Okay, yeah, thanks for watching. Next week's stream will probably be something. Let me see regarding. Let me check my board here. Probably some skills of Maya's, most likely, based on what my task list looks like now. What do I usually say when streams are over? Yeah, thanks for watching. Tune in again next time. If you want to support development and get access to the monthly builds we publish, check out my Patreon, links in the description. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.